Now at 6, MoDOT crews on I-44 removed this overhead sign after a semi-truck crashes into it. Plus, Southeast Kansas cuts the ribbon on a brand new addiction treatment center. And a young author in Miami, Oklahoma won't let anything stop him from following his dreams.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Interstate 44 has fully reopened to traffic after a fatal crash forced a shutdown today. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Westbound traffic was backed up for miles after a semi-truck hit the post of this overhead sign at the Rangeline exit just before 7 this morning. The post was bent. The sign was left leaning over the road. Westbound travelers had to use alternate routes while a crew removed the sign and cleaned up debris.
This was a complicated accident just because we had a large sign that was partially down. That was a hazard for the rescuers and first responders that we had to deal with. There was just a lot of different things, the traffic that we were trying to control.
No word yet on the identity of the person who was killed in that crash. Another hot one out there today. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, of course, temperatures up there once again. We've been on the hot side for the past several days. 95 in Joplin, 93 in Pittsburgh. Our high temps today were about 96, 97 degrees. Still 92 in Nevada, Catskill 94. We have Grove at 93. We have Parsons sitting at 95 degrees. And we are going to focus on the hotter temperatures as we go through the next few days. So on your Wednesday, expect very similar, mid-90s for highs. Let's go into Thursday. Very similar, mid-90s for highs. But look at this change in temperatures out across central Kansas and parts of Nebraska. That is a cold front that will head toward us on Thursday, and that will cool us down a bit as we head into the holiday weekend. Pretty calm for most of us outside right now. It looks like it's going to stay that way as we go through the evening hours. We'll slide back through the 90s, 80s, 70s. And of course, we're going to look at the heat, but also some changes coming up here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doc. There's a new facility in Pittsburgh aiming to treat addiction. Crawford County Mental Health Center celebrated the opening of the new treatment center with a ribbon cutting ceremony today. That center will have 24-hour bed space for addiction, social detox, and crisis stabilization. It'll also provide continuity of care for people to remain under the same care of the same clinicians.
The thing that's exciting about this building is the crisis stabilization unit is attached. And so anybody who comes in who may need detox services, who may need psychiatric services, people on the inpatient unit that may need psychiatric services for while receiving addiction treatment, they're able to do that all together. Like for
that new center is located at the Richard H. Pfeiffer Recovery Complex. In a story of perseverance, a young man in Miami, Oklahoma with Asperger's syndrome is not letting his diagnosis hold him back. He's become a published author after years of hard work. KOAM Samantha Walker sat down with him to learn about what pushed him to follow his passion.
I'm using my diagnosis to see the world differently than what most people would see.
Maverick Manning says he's enjoyed writing for years. When he was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism, his family was told that he would likely struggle with reading comprehension. But that hasn't stopped Maverick from writing. In fact, he believes his diagnosis makes him better.
So in my take on the Asperger's, that it doesn't make you stupid. It makes you smarter than other people because you see the world different.
Maverick published his first book this year, titled The Rabbit's Creed Death Warren. He worked hard on writing the book for 8 years, never giving up on his dreams of being an author, and he's excited to share it with others.
It feels like I'm cooking for someone, and everybody who buys this book and enjoy it, they enjoy it like it's a meal.
His perseverance is something he learned from his mother, Maverick's biggest supporter.
He wants to be a writer. He could be a writer. Like I said, I always told him, don't put limitations on yourself. You could do whatever you achieve or want to achieve if you put your will and your passion behind it.
Maverick says he appreciates all the support he has received from others, especially his family.
It's like having an army on your back when you go to war.
He's not stopping after just one book. Maverick is already writing his next work, and he says he can see himself writing for years to come.
I can see myself walk all the way up till I'm old and wrinkly.
Reporting in Miami, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
You can learn where to find Manning's book on our website, koamnewsnow.com. It's never too early to start learning, especially about our planet. Preschoolers from Carthage today learned some lessons about nature at the George Washington Carver National Monument. The monument partnered with Carthage parents as teachers to educate young students on George Washington Carver's curiosity. They learned through crafts and storytime activities.
We want them to know that national parks are places for them that were created and established so all people can enjoy them. And whether you are 3 or 93, these are amazing places to visit. So they'll get an inside look at one of the parks right in their backyard.
After the program, students and their families were encouraged to explore the monument's interactive exhibits. City of Grove, Oklahoma transforms a parking lot into a bull riding venue for Labor Day weekend. That story's coming up. But up first, some hospitals in southwest Missouri have seen some cases of West Nile virus. Details next. Plenty of mosquitoes are buzzing across southwest Missouri, and as a result, some area hospitals report cases of West Nile virus. Nick Kelly spoke with experts on how it impacts you and how to protect yourself.
Our summer weather this year has allowed the mosquitoes to stick around and remain a nuisance. And doctors at Mercy and around the region are seeing patients with mosquito bites and West Nile virus.
We see few West Nile virus cases throughout every year throughout the summer, anywhere between 5, 10, 15 max cases every year that need to be hospitalized. And
doctors notify Greene County Health of any West Nile cases they come across. Like with other trackable diseases, they investigate the cause and the area where it happened. They then update local leaders and healthcare partners about what they found.
If we're all on the same page, we all understand what's going on in the community, hopefully we can all work together to help either provide education, healthcare, make sure that we can slow the spread.
While not a big problem in the Ozarks, it's worth watching for symptoms of West Nile. Mild symptoms range from a fever to headaches, body aches, joint pain, vomiting, and rash. More severe cases could lead to neuroinvasive diseases causing brain or spinal cord inflammation. Spinal cord inflammation can lead to paralysis, which is what local broadcaster Art Haynes had to deal with when he got the virus 2 years ago. Dr. Hamid stresses that while severe cases are rare, certain risk factors can put people at risk.
Older age, above 65, is the population that's almost exclusively gets this neuroinvasive disease. The second population is anybody with poor immune system. If you're taking medicine, cancer treatment, or if you have an organ transplant.
While treatments are available for the more severe cases of West Nile, doctors and experts alike say prevention works best to help keep mosquitoes away.
Using personal insecticides like DEET or picaridin or permethrin, just to make sure that they don't get to you at all. Wearing long sleeves and pants if you're going to be outside.
It also helps to spray your property for mosquito control and eliminate standing water. That should keep the mosquitoes in West Nile away before the cooler months ahead can calm those insects down. A little bit later, big honors for some members of the Joplin Outlaws. John Dales has the all-star details coming up in sports.
Plus, the heat is sticking around over the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be hot for us today. Temperatures into the mid to upper 90s across the region. We've been hot over the past couple days, and it looks good right now, at least looking outside at our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We're looking downtown Joplin. We do have a few little puffy cumulus clouds out there. All right, temperatures still 93 Lamar, 95 in Carthage, 94 in Neosho. Miami 93, 93 in Grove, 96 in Chanute. Neodesha also at 96. Let's go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline, 95 westerly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then you factor in the humidity, you get the wonderful heat index. Feels like upper 90s to near 100 degrees. Not extreme heat, but definitely hot. And we're going to stay definitely hot as we go through the next couple days. Here's what produces that heat index. This is our humidity. Dew points mainly sitting into the mid 60s. Could be a lot higher, but mid-60s puts us in that sticky range. It's not muggy or soupy, but still, it is high enough out there it feels a little bit uncomfortable. We're going to drop back through the 80s, 70s as we go through the overnight hours, and let's focus on these temperatures over the next couple days because we're going to stay with the heat. So we'll start tomorrow, lower 70s as we go through the day, near 90 by noon. As we get into the afternoon, you can see a spotty, isolated thunderstorm. Most of you will stay dry. High temp 95, 96, 97. Tomorrow night, we'll drop back into the 80s by the time we head into the evening hours. 72 to start, 90 by noon, 95 by 4, high temp 97. And again, we're going to have that slight chance for an isolated thunderstorm. Heat indices are going to be up there as well, near 100 tomorrow. It's not extreme heat, but it's up there. And then again, our heat index near 100 again by the time we get into Thursday afternoon. All right, let's go outside. Not a whole bunch going on. A couple little isolated storms. Our northern counties, those will stay to our north as we go through the overnight hours. We do have a couple weak waves to our southwest. This will give us a little bit of moisture later this week that will give us some chances to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here. All right, let's continue into Thursday. Near 70 to start. As we get into Thursday afternoon, very similar to what we're going to have tomorrow, mid-90s. But we're going to be tracking thunderstorms to our north and to our west. These are going to try to work in by Friday morning, scattered. But what it does is it drives in a cold front. So with that front, we're going to get scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Also notice the temps, mid-80s. So quite a bit cooler once we get into Friday. Also Friday kicks off the holiday weekend. Scattered thunderstorms stick around Friday night into Saturday, and then again hit miss storms once we get into Saturday afternoon. So if you're heading to Grand Lake, Table Rock, Beaver, Stockton, want to pay attention to the forecast as we could get scattered thunderstorms as we head into the weekend. Also rainfall later this week. A lot of areas will pick up a quarter, maybe upwards to a half an inch, which we could definitely use. We need the rain. We are definitely dry outside. 97 on your Wednesday, 96 on your Thursday, and then 80s. 86 Friday, 84 Saturday. The better of the 2 days to be outside of the holiday weekend are going to be Sunday and then Labor Day itself on Monday with a high temp of 84, overnight lows into the 60s. So we're going to end the unofficial end of summer feeling pretty good.
Yeah, with a chilly evening.
I know,
actually.
not bad.
Yeah, open the windows at night. Thanks, Doug. A section of this parking lot is soon going to become a bull riding arena. Bull Fest at the Lake is coming to the Wolf Creek Park in Grove, Oklahoma. The event busts out of the Chinook at 4 p.m. on Friday and features bull riding, live music, food trucks, beer gardens, and a lot more. Organizers say there's a reason for putting the arena on concrete.
We're getting questions about why are we doing it on the concrete. PBR does this all the time, going to the BOK Center in Tulsa. I mean, they do it on the concrete. If you try to get on the grass and you bring in all this dirt and all this fluff, you can't get it back off. Then you have to till the dirt up if you want to do that. We don't have time for that. So it's easier to bring in the dirt, put it on the asphalt, on the concrete, and clean it up. Cleanup's about 2 days. It doesn't take long at all.
There you go. Head over to KOAMNewsNow.com where we've provided more information, including ticket prices and where you can buy those tickets. Still ahead, Missouri Southern football announces its starters ahead of Thursday's season opener, and a former Pitt State Gorilla makes the New Orleans Saints 53-man roster. John Dales has those stories and a lot more coming up next.
The NFL's 53-man roster deadline is this afternoon. At 3 o'clock Central, all 32 teams need to cut down their rosters to 53 from their preseason total of 90. And several players with ties to the four states were right on the border of making the regular season squad. We'll start with Rico Payton, who spent 4 seasons with Pittsburgh State. He has reportedly made the New Orleans Saints 53-man roster. He turned heads in the preseason after going undrafted back in April. Payton had 8 tackles, a sack, and 4 pass breakups in 3 preseason games with New Orleans. He joins Dallas Flowers of the Indianapolis Colts as the only Gorilla alum to make a 53-man roster this season. Different story for Payton's college teammate Devin Garrison. Just 8 days after signing a contract with the Seattle Seahawks, the former All-American tight end is released at the deadline this afternoon, but still could be picked up by any NFL team's practice squad. Same story for Webb City High School alum Zach Davidson. Reports out of Buffalo were that he had a very strong preseason for the Bills. However, Davidson is released at the deadline this afternoon as well. After getting drafted back in 2021, he is yet to play in an NFL regular season game. Here's a look at some of the notable players from the Chiefs roster on the offensive side of the ball to get cut today. They release wide receivers Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross, and special teams weapon Nico Remigio. Chris Oladokun gets released, so KC will have just 2 quarterbacks on its roster. Running back Deneric Prince gets released as well. Missouri Southern football plays its first game of the 2024 season on the road at Midwestern State this Thursday. The Lions released their 2-deep depth chart today. Here are the expected starters for the Lions in their first game. No surprise on offense to see Luke Sampson and Joplin High School alum Nathan Glades in the backfield. Halim Dixon-King, a transfer from Delaware State, and Draper Parker, who only played 3 games a year ago. The 2 of them lead the way at wide receiver. And then no surprise to see MIAA, all MIAA tight end Deontay Campbell in their tight end. Lions will be much younger on defense. Defensive end Solomona Fetuau missed most of last season with an injury, but he returns to anchor the defensive line in 2024. Colton Bass, Zach Bergman, and Peyton McKee round out the linebacker room. Lions don't have a ton of experience at defensive back. Jordan Ledette played in 11 games a year ago for the Lions, but Stephon Black, Mason Rumsey, and Chris Williams, they've combined to play just 4 games for Southern entering Thursday. And the Mid-America League announces its 2024 All-Star team this afternoon. Several members of the Joplin Outlaws are represented. St. Louis native C.J. Sapicki is the left fielder on the All-Star team. This is after he was also named playoff MVP. Drake Lee from Central Oklahoma is named the All-Star catcher. Southeast Arkansas sophomore Eric Hyken, one of 2 relief pitchers in the league to receive All-Star honors. Carl Junction native and current Pittsburgh State Gorilla Lucas Van Landuit is one of 4 starting pitchers named to the All-Star team. He's joined by Xavier Fossbender from Missouri Baptist. He pitched as well as playing in the field and batting, but Fossbender is an All-Star as a starting pitcher. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. The Carthage City Council discusses a potential audit of the Water and Electric Plant Board. Plus, the latest on the legal battle over the fatal duck boat accident that killed 17 people on Table Rock Lake back in 2018. And what you can expect if you plan to travel for Labor Day weekend. Those stories, a lot more, it's all coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Hey, the next KOAM flag swap event is tomorrow. We're going to be set up at Westco Home Furnishings in Pittsburgh, 2601 South Broadway. We'll be there from noon to 1:30. Stop by with your old American flag and you can swap it out for a brand new one. It'll be American made. Old flags will be retired according to the U.S. Flag Code as always. Be sure and show up early because the number of flags is limited and sometimes, in fact, frequently we run out. The demand is that great. The weather is going to stay hot for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be another hot one for us tomorrow, 97 degrees. Heat index right around 100. Very slight chance for an isolated storm.
Final sports notes.
Got a couple of high school volleyball jamborees in the area tonight. We'll have more on that later at 10.
Looking forward to that. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.